story takes place very far from the time of King Herod in Judea, but in Tampa, Florida, Cheryl Chisholm discovered a story that just as surely depicts the power of God.
The streets of Tampa became a rebellious playground for Rick Leonard after leaving the Army. He had tried to get the Army to straighten him out, but since that's not their job, he ended up rebelling even more.
I tried to find some kind of meaning to life, what it was all about. And I just wasn't finding it in the things I was doing and the people I was hanging around.
Possession of several arms and hotel robberies didn't seem to keep Rick off the streets. But one night in Clearwater, Florida, a .38 caliber hollow point bullet penetrated his brain, and his life came to a screeching halt.
I was in Tampa here at a pool hall shooting 9-ball, which I used to shoot pool and make a little money doing that. And that's the last thing I remember doing until I woke up in the hospital in Clearwater. It was about 4 or 5 days later.
Although he can't remember it to this day, Rick was told he had attempted to shoot a police officer and was therefore shot in the head in defense. The damage was paralysis over half his body, violent fits of epilepsy, not to mention damaged eyesight and severe headaches. That, along with a previous problem of asthma, soon found Rick in prison with a release date sometime in the year 2004.
When I first got saved, Pastor, the very first prayer I prayed the next morning after I received Jesus one night, the very next morning, the prison chaplain, I got saved in prison, and the chaplain gave me a Bible. And I held that Bible up the next morning, and the first prayer I prayed, I said, God, I'm going to do what this Bible says.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it, I'm going to do what it says, and if it doesn't work, then I'm going to call you a liar and I'll throw it in the garbage can.
Wow.
That's the first prayer I prayed.
That's a powerful prayer.
I was a heathen. I didn't know it better. I mean, I was a good little heathen. I was a good little sinner. My parents were heathens. I came from good stock. We all didn't know God. Never went to church. But when I got saved, I got saved.
After being healed of paralysis, epilepsy, and asthma, Rick's prison term was unexpectedly cut from 30 years to 7. He married Mary 6 weeks after being released, and Rick soon founded Worldwide Ministries, a missionary organization dedicated to taking Christian literature on foot throughout the world.
We go to churches, we go to prisons, we go to county jails, anywhere that we can preach the gospel. And to me, the gospel of Jesus Christ is people helping other people that have a need.
From the remote jungles of Africa and South America to the palaces of an important Muslim chief, Ricky Leonard can always be found working for the Lord. His extensive range of ministry means balancing endless travel arrangements, making connection after connection at international airports, or arranging for a jeep or a canoe to get to some remote village deep in the bush. That's where Ricky Leonard Ministries goes, where no one else will. When he arrives, Ricky uses the resources of the area he visits to set up crusades, revivals, and healing meetings. This not only adds much needed revenue to the local business, creating favor and goodwill, but it also cuts down on the amount of ministry equipment Ricky has to travel with across international borders. The list of countries that Ricky Leonard Ministries reaches continues to grow with every new trip overseas. Requests for return trips to the many locations where Ricky has ministered in the past are mounting as well as the supernatural power of Jesus Christ is experienced through this very effective and dedicated ministry. More often than not, Ricky advances into virgin territory, places no other evangelist or missionary has ever been before. And many times, it means that Ricky is bringing the good news of Jesus' healing and salvation to people for the very first time. Oftentimes, Ricky is the only white man to ever venture into these regions, and the appearance of such a powerful, spirit-filled man is enough to bring whole villages to Christ, sometimes within just a few days. One service alone saw over 1,100 souls come into the kingdom through this inspired and humble servant. If you have a heart for the lost and dying people that most certainly need the power and love and salvation of Jesus Christ in their lives, then this is the opportunity you've been waiting for. Sow your seed now and watch God transform that seed into souls saved, lives changed, and needs met. Ricky Leonard Ministries is truly reaching the world for God.